talking about women's empowerment, right? There's so much being said right now, particularly with COVID, the need for diversity, the need to empower women. Uh, as someone who's been working for this proactively for years now, what are the three misconceptions that about empowering women that you've faced? I'm very curious to know.
So the first misconception I always see about the women people have is that they're not good with finance. And that actually, it's not only that, that is across. That is across. Either it is with rural women, poor women, women from affluent society that think, but people, and then women themselves also have it. I have heard so many women saying that I get nervous when I talk about finance, and I think that is a very big misconception. And what I learned from, and I'm tempted to give you one very different example here, a different story. When I started bank, and when I was when we got the license, I was thinking, next year many women will come to the bank, and they didn't come. So I went to the street where markets, and I was talking to women that why didn't you come? And there was one lady going on Sakubai Lokhande, Sakubai. She told me that, you know what, they will not come. You will have to come. Your bank will have to come to them. They don't have time. And then I asked Sakubai that, what are you doing? She said, I'm doing money lending. Can you imagine? Money lending. I was like, what? She said, yeah, whenever they are in need, it's good that your bank has come, but nobody was giving them. So I move in the street to provide them. And so in morning I give them, and then they repay me in evening, and I charge them. And then she also told me that, but I follow my ethics, that when somebody is sick in a family, I don't charge them something like, 10% or something, which is of course very high. She was also charging higher than the bank, but I follow it. And then she tells me that she smiled and she said that, you know what, I can calculate the interest faster than you. And this Sakubai, she has not gone to the school. She comes from Dalit community. What I'm saying is that this whole misconception about women and finance, and when I saw Sakubai, I was like, she is breaking all the barriers she has broken, and she's so firm. And the same. And when I met her, and then I always smile and tell her that I get intimidated by you more than the Reserve Bank of India, because I know you will calculate the interest faster than me. But when I see that, I felt that, and always when I used to go myself also in the seminars, when all the central bankers are sitting there and when we are talking, I used to close my eyes and get the face of Sakubai in front of me, because I felt that she was coming with that power, that, money is nothing but, our finance is what? It's not a men's world. It's actually, and it has to be a women's world, because then you come out with a very diverse thing. If Mandeshi Bank was not started, the whole idea of pension for rural women would not have come, which came because of Seva and Mandeshi Bank, and then Atal Pension Yojana, which Government of India came up because women bankers told that rural women need a pension product. So that was one, I would say, the misconception about women. The second, again, is technology. That people think that, and in technology particularly, I am really surprised even today that how many women are there who have started a tech company, and not that they don't know. The question here is, why couldn't they start? Because investors thought that women will not be able to run, right? I've seen so many young women saying that that, I had a great idea, but the investors said that you won't be able to do it. So that another thing which I feel, and when I say that today more than 500,000 women at Mandeshi Bank have become a successful entrepreneur, not only by using the digital technology, but the hardcore technology. And let me tell you one, that how this misconception, women have to struggle, but sometimes how they become a powerful. That I'm now sharing a story of Vanita Sarunkhe. She makes up cotton bags, and she makes like 1,000 cotton bags. And so she wanted to buy a very big machinery so that she can have a logo on the bags and everything. So on one side she can print the logo, on the other side, she can cut her cloth, and then the bag is produced with the machinery. So she went to the vendor. Vendor told her that, go and bring your husband. You won't be able to do it. And she was like, I am running the business. And she's not coming from any MBA school. She has not completed her graduation also. But she said, I'm running the business for years now and I know what I'm asking you. But still, he was not ready. And she said, I am not bringing my husband. But she was narrating her experience to us, saying that on that day, I decided that I will run a big unit of machinery. I'll bring a bigger machine later on and prove it. And she took a loan of 25 lakhs, or I would say 2.5 million rupees. And she set up the whole thing. And today she's making thousands of bags. And so that second misconception is that, is that they are not, that is technology. And the third misconception, which is across sector, is about being a leader. People think that women are not a good leaders, or they don't, and to that I would just say that one thing, even in this middle of COVID, media has not discussed so much, is that which are the 8 countries which had the least, comparatively, the number of COVID patients, they have been able to deal it properly. All those 8 countries are led by women. We know that, right? Germany, South Korea, Finland, we have these because it's just on the number. So another thing I feel that these are the 3: finance, technology, and the leadership. People think that. And here I'm talking about women leaders, not leading only women. I'm talking about leading a society, right? And they have always been, but they were never recognized that way. Even today, I feel that leadership still is, the recognition is also not coming.
Chetna, just going back to my former point, and thank you for sharing, the kind of hurdles that women face day to day. So what are your thoughts on how can we overcome this gender gap that's still happening? I mean, like you correctly mentioned, women are still facing so many hurdles. I mean, we're talking about women empowerment and equality of the genders, but we still have things like pay gap. We still have systems of work which are actually essentially designed for men and not for women, because women multitask every single day. They multitask between roles, but the conventional 9 to 5 is basically designed for men. So we still have these issues. So what are your thoughts, particularly with rural women, right? Rural communities. What are your thoughts on how we can build back better by addressing these gender gaps and filling them up and bridging these gender gaps?
So the one thing, and when you are saying about the rural women, I would say that, you go anywhere in rural India, and you just start, if you decide that, okay, today I'm going to note down, be with women and be with men. And I will note down what are they doing from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we will see that actually whatever work it is, either it is a work in the field, either it is a work of digging, either it is anything, women are giving much more hard work, labor, everything. This is known fact. And in spite of that, we see that there are the wages gap there. That women will get less wages, men will get high wages. That is one. Apart from that, you go to the families, where women, I mean, in banking, we have seen that when when women come for the loan for to set up their business, they would say that, you know what, if my husband would say that I want to start a business, even in that, friends and families would come forward, right? Or parents would say that, okay, even if you lose in business, it's fine, beta. Just don't bother about it, but you go and start. And with women, they will say, like, you cannot be where. If you are going to lose in the business, you will have to leave the house, right? So even the socially also, this hurdle is there. And actually, to fix this, I strongly feel that if we have to, it's not just a gender gap, but I feel it's also not like, to fix this, if you can make the legislations that, in the offices, you have to appoint these, give the employment to women and all that, which is great. One has to do some that short term things also. But I would just, many times when I see some failed businesses, and when I look at them, and if they are talking to me, I would say, like, first thing you have to do is appoint one woman here and give her in charge of the business. And I would also share with my banking experience also, that we have seen so many women who would come forward and say that my husband made a losses, I took over the business, and now I have been able to make it, right? And these are not in just my stories. We have seen around that. So I feel that one has to recognize this thing, that it's not about it's about the whole vision, that actually, if women take over, if women lead, if women are own the businesses, those businesses are done effectively. And now, when I'm talking to you, I think now it has to be not only just the question of equality, but we have to do more. We need to have that data more to show the world and say that, see, these are the way I'm saying about the countries. I would say, like, there are businesses which are done by women. It's not just my balance sheets, right? There are people behind those balance sheets. And how am I dealing with those people? What are they getting? So I feel that whole gender gap, and I know that we have to give the, like, it has to be immediate, it has to be result oriented, and we cannot wait for years for that now. And I think, and in middle of COVID, we have an opportunity. See how many at present, if you move around in small towns and villages, at present, men have lost the business, and mostly economy of the household is taken care by women. Not because only they are working from home, but they have a capacity to work from anywhere. Actually, either it is home or it is office, they can do, because they are multitasking, they are multi operational people, so they can do 2-3 things together, and so they are so successful. And so I, in fact, would say that, see, even in the health sector, you see the sector which has been actually now led by women. I mean, you see Cipla is CEO is women, right? I mean, these are some Apollo led by women, right? So now already the narrative is there. I think the another mindset, it's either it is a wage gap or job gap, or the social, I mean, a natural inheritance goes to men. And I think there the cultural aspect is very important, that even today, the actually fathers and businesses go to sons, right? If there are all daughters, then it's a different. If you have only daughters, then the natural inheritance is daughter. And I think that actually, and in rural India also, actually property rights is a very big thing. If that is fixed, that women get a ownership of property, both in household and the land property. And that is the major challenge in this country, particularly in India, where and I would say that we need to address that more. But it's very important that in rural India, if we have to address the gender gap economically, one important thing is control on finance, ownership of land, and as far as knowledge is concerned, I think they have crossed men now.
Absolutely. Chetna, my final question to you today is talking about basically some of the challenges that Mandeshi Foundation is helping rural women entrepreneurs overcome, and your plans for how this will kind of translate into a post-pandemic world. Are there certain kind of opportunities that you are already spotting for female entrepreneurs?
So the first thing that what women are facing challenge in this pandemic is, and particularly Mandeshi works with women entrepreneurs, is that how do you, wherever they are working, either in agriculture sector or it is non-agriculture sector, what we see clearly is that textile, agriculture and fashion. These are the three sectors where women are clearly coming up as a champions. And even the IT part, in technology also. And you can see that they are coming as a champions. Now, what are the challenges they are facing? One challenge, which is that we have a Mandeshi bank. So in Maharashtra, we provide the capital. But the biggest challenge to women entrepreneur today is the capital, that banks or either whoever financing world is not considering them. And what is the reason is because they do not have collateral. Now, which means that property rights or, they do not have a tangible collateral. And okay, women do not have, and are we going to sit and wait that they have? They will, if they will earn, they will create their own collateral. I have seen in Mandeshi Bank, so many women are owning property, and Mandeshi has this thing, has a product that if women owns property and she takes loan, we get the rebate. So here I'm saying that actually government should do it, that if women are owning the property, the stamp duty has to be waived. It is so important to do that. How do we address? So that is one, I would say, that what Mandeshi is doing. And the second, which is very important, is that all these small businesses women have started and they are doing it. There are, in agriculture sector, what we have done is that we have a women farmer producer company, right? And that also, I mean, I would just like to say that the founder, Vanita Pise, when she was setting up the farmer producer company, she's on the board of Mandeshi Bank also. The permission was not given because she's not owning the land, or the members are not owning the land. So first they did that deed with their husbands, that we are co-partner in your property. They took that deed and gave it to the registrar and said that, so these are the challenges which women get if they set up the company also. And so they registered the farmer producer company. And the whole, now what they are doing is that providing a platform for farmers to market their product, right? Today, agriculture is the only industry which is operating in this pandemic. Whatever our GDP has gone down, but whatever little bit it has remained is because of that. So that is another which Mandeshi Foundation is trying. Women entrepreneurs, women farmers, again I'm saying like textile, food and fashion. This industries, women are champions. How do we provide capital? How do we provide market to them? And how do we bring the technology in their handset? So these are the areas. And when I say technology, what I mean to say is that you will be surprised to see that our women paravets who are taking the course at Business School of Mandeshi, they are providing the service of vaccination and insemination to the any cattle, these women have created the digital platform for animal market. So now in Mandeshi Foundation is helping women who have a virtual animal market where buying and selling of animal is being done. And women are capable of that. So I do feel again that we will have to create different types of hundreds of such digital marketing platform for women entrepreneurs, and so that they can do these businesses. But the major thing which I feel very important, which has to be think at a national level, is that we have to have a digital repository of women-owned business. Wherever in small village they are doing that business, their data has to come in that repository. And if they are registered in that, government has this Udyog Aadhaar and all that, but they do not, it's ease of doing business is not there in India. They do not have their companies being registered, and it's not very easy. But if they are registered and if we have their data and bank consider it as a proper business ID and are ready to give them capital, I think it will actually, if India takes that leading role in having these all women entrepreneurs and having their repository and giving them that business ID of that, I I believe that these women will be linked to the banking world, will be linked to the market, and not only that, but when their business will grow, our real numbers of economy will also grow. So I feel it's very important that their data is captured and and that is very valuable data to the world. That we have that, millions of women are doing this business. And I'm glad that Mandeshi has more than 500,000 women doing business, and we have that data with us. And it's important that, if we have that, then that whole it's a treasure. It's a value, very much value. And it's not only just data, right? It's about this. Each one has a story of their own life, these women, and these are all business leaders. So I think Mandeshi's taken up that as a challenge. We provide capital. Mandeshi Business will provide knowledge, and the Mandeshi Chamber of Commerce will have this data of business leaders, which will help them to link with the market and finance.
Chetna, thank you so much for those invaluable insights. It's been an absolute pleasure to have this discussion with you. And thank you once again for having taken out time from your very busy schedule to do this interview with us.
Thank you, Ishi.